We got some pretty intense news today. A couple weeks ago, I can't even like stare at the camera. This is so weird to like talk about. He basically was like, so I got word today that I'm on the backup rotation for this next deployment. The guy who was originally gonna go on this deployment probably won't be able to, which means Blake will be deploying really, really soon.
What do you have to say to that?
Holy crap.
So what's the deal?
Even if you turned it off, it would still blow air out, and it only blew hot air out. And the AC button doesn't work, and the recycle air button doesn't work. And I have a feeling this might be why that sensor is still on.
Your tire sensor?
Yeah.
Is that the magic thing where you plug the thingy in and it tells you what's wrong with it?
That's
like it's a
it'll
code.
Throw a code, yeah, usually.
Blake texted me when he was on his way home from work today and basically said that the AC wasn't working and that it was blowing hot air instead of cold air and just generally wasn't working. So we're kind of checking it out and seeing exactly what's going on. But how much are we going to be able to tell just from looking at that? I mean, like, that's the magic pin right there.
When I get in the car, I keep getting, like, static from everything. And so sometimes, like, when I touch the ignition.
The start key?
Yeah, I will shock myself. Like, I'll shock myself and, like it's not a small little, it's like a big one.
Mm-hmm. So you think you shorted something with your static?
I mean, I hope I didn't. Why is this one warm?
I'll let you toy around with it a bit and I'll keep cooking.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
I don't know if that's gonna directly help. I think the humidifier is more of like a long-term solution sort of thing. Dry a dryer sheet.
Dude, just
rub it down. Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. Plus, it makes you smell good.
Yeah, I know. That's what we would use in basic for deodorant.
Deodorant?
Not deodorant. We had deodorant, but like
to smell good?
To smell good and not smell like ass.
They always say that like when your hair is really staticky that you should rub a dryer sheet over it to like remove the static. And that's what dryer sheets do in the dryer.
Yeah,
so
make it smell good.
Yeah, so I mean I'd imagine.
I probably look really dumb right now.
No, you look cute. So I'd imagine like that would help at least a tiny bit. So tonight, we're having, I can't decide if this sounds good or if it doesn't sound good. We're having tikka masala with cod instead of chicken. So we have our cod already right here. And we got it at Trader Joe's, so it was decently priced for what we got. Usually fish is really expensive. I made some rice too. And the rice I cooked it with like a pat of butter and some cardamom is what I put in there. So that's gonna be really, really, really yummy. And then right now we have some very sweated onions and garlic, and I'm gonna throw the cod in there in just a minute, and then I'm gonna put the tikka masala sauce over it because I'm lazy and I just got the canned stuff, so this should be good. We got some pretty intense news today. A couple weeks ago, I can't even like stare at the camera. This is so weird to like talk about. A couple weeks back, Blake walked in the door after a work day. I think he was on day shift at this point because I think it was still daylight out. And he basically was like, so I got word today that I'm on the backup rotation for this next deployment. He said backup, so backup meant, you know, like in case something happens to the other guy, that's the only instance in which he would go. Today, I was working this morning and I heard Blake get a phone call. He was upstairs, his door was open. The guy on the phone said, "Are you sitting down?" And I could hear it because he said sitting down, and he was playing video games or whatever. It sounds like the guy who was originally going to go on this deployment has a medical condition and he probably won't be able to, which means Blake will be deploying really, really soon. He came downstairs and told me that, you know, there's a very high likelihood that he will be deploying this next upcoming rotation. I can't actually tell you guys where he's going or specifically what day he's going because it kind of violates a few rules in the military. Like, we're not supposed to talk about it. I can say that he'll be leaving in fall and coming back in springtime, but I can't really give you an exact date or tell you exactly where he's going. Our plan was always kind of, if it is something that happens, I was always going to go home. I was always going to go and be with my family during the deployments because there's nothing really down here keeping me here. I don't feel comfortable being by myself, I guess. So it was always just like an obvious thing, like, oh, I'll just go home when you deploy. No big deal. So Blake told me he was, possibly going to be deploying, and he started to get ready because when you get the word that you're possibly going to be deploying, you have like a ton of paperwork to do. So much paperwork. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to call my parents and, tell them that this is something that could be happening. I called up my mom. I told her, I'll probably be coming back up with a couple of our, like a few things of ours and Noelle, and we'll probably be chilling up there for a little bit. And if it would be okay for me to like have my room back. And she was like, yeah, of course, no problem. And then she went on and basically said, actually, I'm really glad this is something that could be happening because I really, really want you home right now. And I said, why? And she said, well, your dad was in the hospital last week. Apparently last week he thought he had like a cough. It started off as a cough. It developed into something bigger because he couldn't breathe. He couldn't adequately breathe. They went to the hospital and they were doing all kinds of tests and they thought it was pneumonia. I guess my mom said they did like 2 CAT scans. And that's when they discovered that he had bladder cancer. And if you guys knew my dad, if you knew exactly what he was like, you'd know that he's like the toughest dude in the entire world. He's like this big, burly, masculine, huge handlebar mustache, and he rides a Harley to work every day. He's like a biker dude, right? And just to hear that he could be really sick, like, that is not exactly how I pictured my day going today, for sure. They don't know how serious it is or if it's something that is like a really big deal or not. They said that they just saw it. Like they haven't done any biopsies or anything on it, so they're not sure what kind of, cancer it is, if it's benign, if it's malignant. So I spent most of my day crying on and off because not only did I get word today that apparently Blake will probably be deploying, but also that my dad is not in the best shape in the entire world. That was my day today. I'm gonna go on a run because I think that'll make me feel better. I know that Noelle wants to go because she's looking up at me like, what is going on right now? What is happening? You get to come home, and if Blake deploys, we can go be in Washington, and you can get all the snuggles from all of my family members. Okay, so it's official then. It's happening.
Yeah.
All right, we got this big, look at this checklist, you guys. Here, let me see. Look at how thick it is. It's huge. It's so big, and there's so much stuff in here to do.
Well, I've seen it write down things that we gotta
do?
People we gotta talk to.
Like who?
Like Geico and learning mutual.
Cox. The internet?
Yeah.
Are you on hold? Mm-hmm. He's on hold talking about auto insurance because I'm going to be taking the car up back to Washington, so we have to change addresses and stuff and insurance coverages and everything. Everything. There's like tons of checklists online that are specifically for this, like how you prepare and what you need to do beforehand. So we're just reading over the checklist right now and kind of figuring out where to go from here, I guess. Here's what's going on. You're deploying. Mm-hmm. We can't tell you where he's going, and we can't tell you when specifically he's going, but it's shockingly soon, would you say?
Yeah.
As of right now, I think the plan is that he'll do his deployment thing. I will drive back up home with the puppy. I guess there's never really like a definitive I'm coming home date. Like it's just like this is when you're leaving and you'll know when you're coming home soon sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially what we have to figure out right now, we printed off a few checklists of things that we have to get done. And then there's a big checklist that he brought home.
Yeah.
It's really big and it has like what kind of stuff is in it? It's like all kinds of stuff. There's like immunizations that he has to get and certain baggage things that he has to get, things that we have to pick up at the store that they're not issuing to him, like deodorant and stuff like that.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that we've always known was going to happen. Like it was just something that was like inevitable. I didn't know it would happen this quickly. Like I knew...
This isn't normal.
No.
It's not usual for it to happen like this.
This came about very, very suddenly. I'm going to be home for most of the major holidays.
Yeah.
Without you.
Yeah.
I don't know if the vlogs are going to go up on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays anymore. I'm not really sure, just while he's gone. Just because it's different. Like, it's just going to be a little bit different while you're away, I think.
Yeah, it will be.
We're just going to play it by ear. You can follow us on, like, Twitter and Instagram, and those links are always in the description bar. And that's pretty much, not you so much. You don't really tweet very, well, you do sometimes. You don't really do Instagram.
Not really.
But he has one, so that's an existing thing. Twitter is usually where I go to, like, talk about this kind of stuff. So if there's ever an update with the vlogs or anything, you can totally feel free to follow. And that's where you can learn things.
It'll be a new experience. And I don't know, kind of excited.
Yeah, Blake is kind of excited about it.
Yeah. Just something different. It'll be my first time getting out of this continent.
Oh, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot better today, a lot better than we were yesterday. I was really anxious because, well, just so much news like came about yesterday, and it was he's like on day shift now because he has so many appointments to go to, and his supervisor basically said, like, just don't even worry about work right now. You need to do all of this stuff. So he has to, like, see all these people, and they issue him like a big bag and everything, and then we have to go to the store and get all kinds of stuff that he has to bring with him. I want to make a list of things we have to buy for, like, for us going home, because I'm going to be going home with Noelle. I want to make sure that we have like a flashlight and stuff like that. I want to get Noelle a travel crate. What a mess. This is just going to be like a crazy next couple of weeks. So I am all dressed and ready to go, and my work day is actually going to be a little bit short today because we have to run out to Nellis and do a couple things there that we need before Blake deploys. Get him some new uniforms. We have to stop by the legal office. We have to do all kinds of stuff today. So I'm gonna end this vlog right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because we put out videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. I also want to thank you guys so much for all of the support you guys gave on this picture that I posted on Instagram. So many of you commented and were just saying, like, you know, thank you for everything you guys do, and I don't know, I just feel so much like overwhelming love for all of you guys, just for being so supportive. You guys are awesome, so thank you so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you on Monday. Bye. Face in the dirt? Did you stick your face in